Okay, so we hear these words thrown around all the time, right? Assets, liabilities. But what do they actually mean? I mean, for your wallet. Because let me tell you, getting this right isn't just for accountants. Nope. It's pretty much the master key to building any kind of real wealth.
All right, so to get things rolling, let's play a quick game. Super simple. I'm going to throw a few things out there that most of us own, and you just think to yourself, is this an asset or is it a liability? Ready? Let's do it.
Okay, first one. That slick new iPhone. Maybe the one you're even watching this on right now. Yeah, it's pricey, it's a piece of tech magic for sure, but is it putting money in your pocket or is it taking money out? Next up, what about your car? You know, the one you rely on every single day. It gets you where you need to go, no doubt, but from a purely financial standpoint, is it an engine for your wealth or just a drain on your bank account? And now for the big one, your house, your home. We've all been told our whole lives, right? Your home is your biggest asset. But is it? Is it really? The answer here might not be what you think. So to cut right through all this confusion, let's start with a really, really simple rule. It's a rule of thumb made famous by Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And here it is. It's honestly this simple. An asset that puts money in your pocket, a liability that takes money out of your pocket. That's it. It's like assets feed you, liabilities eat your money. If something is generating cash flow for you, it's an asset. If it's costing you money just to have it, well, that's a liability. This quote really nails it. The big difference here isn't just about how much you earn. No, it's about what you do with that money. It's about changing your focus from just accumulating liabilities, stuff you have to pay for, to actively seeking out and buying assets, the things that pay you. But wait a minute, is it really that simple? I mean, this rule is a total game changer for sure. It forces you to look at everything differently. But it also raises some pretty tough questions, especially when you start applying it to the big ticket items we own. All right, let's get into the great house debate. Using this simple rule, we're going to tackle the most common, most argued about example there is, your own home. Okay, so if you're living in your house from a cash flow perspective, it's a liability. Just think about it for a second. Every single month, money is just pouring out. You've got the mortgage, right? Then property taxes, then insurance. And let's not forget the fun surprises, like when the water heater breaks. It's constantly taking money out of your pocket.
But here's the magic. That exact same house can become one of your best assets. How? Well, the second it starts putting money in your pocket, you rent it out, and the rent you collect is more than all those expenses we just talked about. Boom, it's an asset. Or you sell it for a big profit, a capital gain. That makes it an asset too. See? It's all about which way the money is flowing.
So that simple in your pocket, out of your pocket rule is amazing for getting your head in the right space. But to really get the full official picture, we kind of have to look at it the way an accountant does. Let's get a little more technical for a sec.
Okay, don't let the fancy language here trip you up. The most important words are future economic benefit. That's the whole ballgame. An asset is just something you have now that's probably going to bring you some kind of economic value later on. Simple as that. And on the flip side, a liability is a future sacrifice. It's something you owe today that means you're going to have to give up something valuable in the future. Think of a car loan or a credit card bill. You have an obligation now to pay later. So these two ideas, assets and liabilities, they're not just random words. They're the two sides of the most fundamental equation in all of finance. It basically says everything a person or a company owns, their assets, had to be paid for somehow. It was either paid for with debt, that's the liabilities, or with their own money, which is the equity. They have to balance out, always. Okay, so now that we've got the official definitions down, you can start to see that the universe of assets is actually way bigger than most people realize. They come in all different shapes and sizes. So the first big way we can split them up is tangible versus intangible. Tangible is easy. It's stuff you can physically touch. A building, a pile of cash, a piece of equipment. Intangible assets, though, you can't touch them, but man, they can be incredibly valuable. Think about the patent for a blockbuster drug or the brand name Coca-Cola. You can't hold it, but it's worth billions. Another way to slice it is by time. How quickly can you turn it into cold hard cash? Current assets are the fast ones, stuff you expect to convert to cash within a year, like the inventory in a store. Non-current assets are your long-game players. These are fields like property, heavy machinery, stuff you plan to hold on to for a long, long time. And one last way to think about it: real assets versus financial assets. Real assets have value because of what they physically are. You know, a piece of land, a bar of gold, a barrel of oil. Financial assets get their value from a contract, a piece of paper, or these days, a line of code. Think stocks and bonds. Their value is based on a promise of future earnings or payments. So, what does all this mean for you? What's the bottom line? This isn't just a boring accounting lesson for big companies. No way. This is your personal blueprint. It's the playbook for building your own financial freedom. The whole key is learning how to flip the script. You have to start looking at things differently. That car sitting in your driveway just costing you money? Well, you could start driving for Uber or DoorDash, and suddenly it's an asset. That spare room collecting dust, rent it out on Airbnb. Bam, it's an asset. The power is in seeing the potential to turn a cost into an income stream. This right here, this is the goal. This is the mindset that changes everything. You stop just buying stuff that constantly needs to be paid for, and you start deliberately, intentionally acquiring things that pay you. That's the difference between being a consumer and being an investor. I love this way of thinking about it. When you buy a stock, you're not just gambling on a ticker symbol. You are literally buying a tiny little piece of that company. It's like instead of buying a whole house, you get to buy one single brick, and then another, and another. And over time, by collecting all those bricks, you build your own financial fortress. So I'm going to leave you with a challenge. Just look around you right now. Think about your car, your computer, a special skill you have, maybe even that spare bedroom. What's the biggest liability in your life that you could, with a little creativity, flip into an asset? Seriously, think about it. Because finding the answer to that question might just be the first step toward a totally different financial future for you.